Kubor ka Batisi TV. Lawan Rashapi da ka Frank Motors. I am Tata Punch. Price starting at 5.80 lakhs. Ringkat bat ka net foodish. Ordar mapi nginwan ra amangi hakir dob yeng jongpi.
The International Multidisciplinary Art Workshop leni ka Ïatai Halor ka kamdrodur bat Shtah dur ka basansngi Halor ka pang cross-cultural identities, a dialogue through art. Bala penlong de ka Positive Energy Art Foundation harengkat ka Ïatai lang bat ka Icssr NERC Shillong la pelipat ba do Commissioner and Secretary jang katanat Arts and Culture ka Sarkar Jilla uba Frederick Roy Kharkungor ha ka Sautrik upunay naitung arajar arpuar. Hagani ka lang la sakhi lang da u Honorary Director jong ka Icssr NERC Shillong u Professor Bhagirathi Panda u Director jong ka Positive Energy Art Foundation u Dr. Prakash Kishore u Principal jong ka Government College of Arts and Crafts Guwahati u Dr. Nabajit Deka u Chairman jong ka Riti Academy of Visual Arts u Bar Rafael Warjri ki nongdro bat ki nong Shtah dur na keleng kiri ka Perthei bat kiwei.
I think most of you must have heard of the living root bridges, and has been experienced in this room with participation from across the borders as well. As we were told in the introductory remarks by Professor Prakash Kishore that we also have participants from countries like Thailand and South Korea and Sri Lanka and also South Africa, along with our participation from our neighboring states and also our own indigenous artists from the state. I think it will be a very exciting and a very impactful as well as a very meaningful cultural exchange in the next 4 to 5 days. I think a word of gratitude goes to Professor Panda and the Icssr for having hosted this program here and for having taken the lead to steer and to anchor this program along with the Positive Art Foundation. It is a much needed program and also it's very timely. We all know that we have suffered 2 years of pandemic. The last 2 years has been very challenging and very difficult for all of us, especially for the art community, because art is about it's about experiencing all the 5 senses. Touch, feel, smell, sight. So unless artists are able to engage with the audience, with the wider audience through these 5 senses, it becomes something incomplete if we're not able to meet, not able to exchange ideas, not able to interact. But I'm glad that the program has kicked off and that you are here to talk about art, to talk about the cross-cultural identities, and also about initiating this dialogue through the medium of art. I'm also happy to note that there are 8 participating universities from within the country and also outside the country who have taken who will be taking active role in this 5 days dialogue through art. I'd just like to share with you a few thoughts. We transited from the industrial age. I think the industrial age, we all know, an age of manufacturing, an age of accelerating processes. The main objective of the industrial age was automation, to make things in a fast and in an efficient manner. And how it was done is through automation, through a process of automation. The whole industrial revolution sought to seek convenience for the people. Then from that stage, it moved to the age of information. When we transition to the age of information, the main objective is to create synthesis. And what is the value that is aimed for? The value is basically clarity. So you try to move from industrial age to the information age so that convenience will also create clarity. through the information and through the through the synthesis of all this information. But now we are living in the age of imagination, and the age of imagination is an age which is the age of the artists, of the creators. And what is the value? In fact, what is the medium that is used? It is creativity. And what is the value that is sought to be achieved? It is connections. And I think this present age that we are living is a very exciting age, because it is the age of imagination. From age of information, we have transitioned to the age of imagination.
And I'm sure they will be playing a very, very critical role. Today, when we are talking of in terms of integrating with South Asia, Southeast Asia, East Asia, even beyond also Asia Pacific, we have enunciated and implementing a very macro development strategy for the development of this part of the country, and we call it the artist policy of government of Kenya. And that policy envisages, I think, a lot of developments in different dimensions. Particularly, let's say, for example, to have the economic benefits under this policy, we need also to start with very enriched cultural capital. If you look at this, even when you look at the world scenario, look at the way China, for example, has undertaken its business all across the world, particularly, I think, Southeast Asia and East Asia. Much of the credit goes to building up that required social and particularly cultural capital. So culture plays a very, very pivotal role in bringing people together, in bringing societies together, and even today, bringing economies together. So in that context, actually, your presence from different parts of the world and different parts of the country assumes a lot of significance for all of us in Meghalaya and for us also in Icssr. I'm so happy that we could collaborate with. We require a lot of this cultural capital, which people from the field of art like you who have come here itself can give us, so that you connect the hearts. Art, literature, connect the heart. They're a great leveler. I'm saying all across the world it has been proved. At one point of time, I still remember actually, even on the issues like poverty or on development, and it kind of sense, the artists are creative people. They have a sixth sense, which sometimes many of us as economists we do not have. Historically, if you look at, when I talk about art, I talk about art in a very broad sense, including literature. I love literature. I read a lot of literature. I still remember when poverty was an issue at one point of time, even in Europe also. Thomas Gray came up with a very, very important poem. And I just remember 2 lines when he says, "Full many gems of purest ray in the dark unfathomed caves of the ocean bear. Full many flowers are born unseen and waste their sweetness in the desert air. Chill, penury, race their noble race and froze the genial current of the soul." So we are talking about the cascading effect of poverty, how just like snow, it freezes the creative arts of people. That's the cascading effect of poverty. And economists, developmental practitioners, politicians, all of them, they do work on this issue of poverty. But sensitizing people to the cascading effect of the poverty, the way art does it, the way literature does it, I think economics, or for that matter management, or for that matter statecraft in that sense actually doesn't do it. So there comes the role, that's the powerful role that artists and the people from the field of literature have played. And then,